How's it going, you guys? My name is William and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking about savings accounts. A lot of my videos are all about money, saving money, what you can do to save money, how to invest in the stock market, and I'm a big believer that you should have a emergency fund, but I've never talked specifically about savings accounts. And I did some research on some savings accounts with different banks in my area. Some are pretty big banks like Chase and Wells Fargo, and then some are just some credit unions around my area that I know about, and one of them I actually am using right now. They're my main bank. But I've never actually looked and shopped for a savings account. I've never thought about that. I didn't really think there'd be much of a difference in annual return on interest from each individual bank, or I didn't even really know that a lot of banks had different tiers of savings accounts. And so I thought that was really interesting. And today I'm going to share my research with you guys and show you guys just what banks, at least in my local area, are offering in terms of interest rates and how much of a big difference those interest rates can actually make. I'm going to actually show you the websites, and I'll show you the charts that they have, and then I'll also break it down just a little bit further. I'll give you a number that I'm going to base the interest rate on for 1 year. I'm going to give myself a baseline of how much money you would earn on interest with this specific savings account on $10,000 in 1 year. And the reason why I'm doing $10,000 is because that's pretty much how much I have invested in the stock market. So I'm going to try to compare my $10,000 in the stock market versus my $10,000 in a savings account, how much I could make, and compare the two and see which one would actually do better. For the first bank that we're going to look at my bank that I actually use, which is Safe Credit Union. So let's head on over to the website and I'll show you their interest rates. So if we look here at safecreditunion.org, we go over to their rates and savings accounts, we can actually see that they have a full chart for all different types of savings accounts, and they have quite a bit. We're going to look at a couple different savings accounts. So there's the share savings, and there's actually 1 tier and 2 tier of share savings. If you had $10,000 in this share savings account on the first stipulation, and you would get 0.05% dividends back from $10,000, which is my baseline, which would be roughly about $5 per year on $10,000. So that's obviously not the best, but that's kind of like a baseline that we're going to start out with for Safe, because that's their basic one. And if you had the first stipulation and the second stipulation, which I actually did not know that about this second stipulation, you have to meet 3 requirements. You just have to have a perfect sense checking account, which I do not have and I did not realize. You have to be active in e-statements, and you have to have 10 or more debit and or credit card transactions each month on the same membership account. So one account just have to have 10 transactions on their debit or credit card in one singular month, which I definitely could do. I already, probably make more than 10 in a single month. 10 is not very hard to reach in a month, even if you do save for the most part. So I'm actually probably going to be looking at opening up a perfect savings or perfect sense checking account just to get this additional dividend rate average per year. I mean, it goes from 0.05 to all the way up to 0.85%, which could potentially be up to $85 just in dividends versus $5. So I'm missing out on $80, and I did not even know it, and my bank has never told me about this third stipulation or these stipulations at all. I just have a normal checking account. I didn't even know that there was a different sort or different type of checking account. Safe also offers these money market accounts. We have a capital access money market on $10,000. I would earn $10 average per year. They have a preferred money market, which the $10,000 would fall in between the $2,000 and $49,000 limit. So you would get an average between 0.18% and 2%. And so I averaged this out. I added these two numbers, divided them by 2, and you get 1.09%. So you would get roughly $110 on average per year just for having a preferred money market savings account. And then they also have this money market, this business money market. For 10,000 you would get 0.10%, another $10. So now I'm going to show you another bank. This one's going to be Chase Savings, and we'll take a look at that one. When I was doing this research, I decided to look at Chase Savings accounts just because they're everywhere. They're a pretty big bank, a traditional bank. They're not a credit union, but they're a traditional bank, and they're all over the place. To my surprise, Chase only has one type of savings account. I'm not a member, so I don't know if there are other savings accounts that they only show to members, but for their Chase Savings, they get 0.01% on average for their percentage yield. So if I had $10,000 every year on average, I would get only $1. Now we're going to look at the third bank that I chose to research today on savings accounts. And for the third bank, I decided to take a look at Wells Fargo. They're another big bank, that are kind of everywhere. You hear about them a lot. They're a traditional bank. They're not a credit union. And for me, I prefer credit unions just because I've always been exposed to them, and credit unions, they work for the customers for the most part. So with Wells Fargo, to my surprise, they only actually had two savings accounts as well. They have this Way to Save savings and this Platinum savings. With the Way to Save savings, you get 0.01%, same as Chase. So on a $10,000 savings account, you would only get $1 back every year. Wells Fargo does offer a Platinum savings account, and they only get 0.02% interest rate, or based on that $10,000, only $2 on average per year. This interest rate is not that great. It's not even all that much better than the Way to Save savings account, and it's pretty on par with Chase. And so now we're going to look at the fourth one that I decided to research. So for this fourth one, I decided to research another credit union that is local to my area. They're a much bigger credit union, I would say. They have a couple more savings accounts as well. So for the first one, regular savings account, you get the same as the other credit union, 0.05%. So if you had $10,000, you would get a $5 return on average per year. They have an additional savings account, and then I didn't really look into this one. It's kind of like the same. Then you have a money market savings account, so you would get 0.10% on average per year, between $10,000 and $49,000. So baseline is $10,000. You get about $10 on average per year with a money market savings account. Out of all of these bank accounts that I decided to research, I researched 2 credit unions and 2 traditional banks. In terms of the savings accounts, the credit unions offered more interest rates on your money. Like I said, I could get up to $109 with Safe Credit Union if I had that special savings account. And then for Golden One, they were higher than the traditional banks, but I could only get about between $5 and $10 return on my $10,000. I never really thought about shopping around for savings accounts, and I didn't know the difference that one can make for you. Overall, I feel like I have the better of the savings accounts, but it also depends on where you want to put your money, right? Do you like credit unions? Do you like traditional banks? Do you like that the traditional banks are kind of like all over the place? It's really up to you, obviously, but money is money, and if you're going to have that money just sitting there anyways for emergency fund, may as well accrue as much interest on it as you possibly can. Thank you guys for watching.